Coronavirus impacted thousands of people around the world. The number of those infected growing on a daily basis.
Yes, there are constant updates that are coming into our newsroom, and here are the 3 things that you need to know this morning. First, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper's recommendation on large gatherings. It starts today. He is against any public meetings of more than 100 people. And the travel ban from many European countries to the U.S., it starts tonight for certain people. In Congress today, the House could vote on a deal to fund the fight against the virus. The aid package includes enhancements to paid leave, food assistance, and unemployment insurance for those impacted by the virus. The bill would also beef up state Medicaid funding to help with the crisis, and it would make coronavirus testing free for anyone who needs it. Right now, there are 5 local cases of the coronavirus. We have 1 in Cabarrus, 2 in Mecklenburg, and 2 in Lancaster counties. There are 12 total in South Carolina and a total of 16 in North Carolina. So far, 3 large private schools in Charlotte will be closed today.
That's right. That includes Charlotte Country Day, Charlotte Latin, and Providence Day. There also will not be school at Covenant Day and Socrates Academy in Matthews. And Arbor Brook Christian Academy will not have classes for the next 2 weeks. However, all Cabarrus County schools will operate on a normal schedule, even though a person who tested positive for the virus came into contact with a student at Cox Mill Elementary.
And we know that the family is in quarantine, and last night parents were sent this message from the school.
Cox Mill Elementary and Cabarrus County schools continue to take safety precautions and proactive measures to reduce the risk of spreading COVID-19. Please know that we take the health and safety of our students and staff very seriously and will always err on the side of caution. We thank you for your cooperation and patience.
Now, most people, especially here in the U.S., they don't know if they have coronavirus, and it's because of a lack of testing.
North Carolina leaders say they're doing everything they can to get people tested, but testing everyone's really been a challenge. Reporter Joe Bruno found out how this testing process works and who qualifies for it.
There are 2 different kinds of tests. They both involve swabs. One is up the nose, the other to the back of the throat, and doctors say the nasal one is more effective. Oftentimes, those tests will then go to a private lab like LabCorp, where there's a 3-day turnaround. Continued frustration from Governor Roy Cooper over the state's ability to test for COVID-19.
We did not receive the material that we were promised from the CDC. So we have begun working other avenues to do everything we can to make that happen.
The state lab has about 700 tests available. 900 are on back order. That 700 number is a big improvement. Wednesday, the state only had 250. The problem has been a lack of supplies that are used to extract genetic material to determine whether someone has coronavirus.
We are doing everything we possibly can to make sure that everyone who should get a test gets tested.
Fortunately, it is not just the state lab conducting the tests. North Carolina-based LabCorp has the ability to perform thousands of tests a day. That's where Dr. Ryan Shelton of Tryon Medical Partners sends his tests.
We do have plenty of tests, but it really needs to be reserved for folks for whom we have a higher index of suspicion to start with.
A sniffle and an earache isn't enough to get a test. Shelton says they are trying to save as many as possible for those who need them.
We're going to size up what are your symptoms, and then also what are your underlying risk factors, and then have you traveled.
Tryon Medical Partners is in the process of setting up a satellite location so you don't have to go to the office to get tested. Dr. Shelton is stressing that if you have any of the symptoms for coronavirus, be it a cough, fever, shortness of breath, wheezing, maybe even a sore throat, that you give the office a call ahead of time. Let them know that you are coming in so they have time to prepare. Back to you.
And we've all heard about the travel ban for certain people coming in from Europe to the U.S., but the talk of it has led to some panic and some confusion.
Certainly has. So we want to break down exactly what all of this means. Our Anthony Castora is live from Charlotte Douglas this morning, and you know more about this and who can come into the country and who cannot. Explain, Anthony.
It is a little bit confusing, Brittany. At 11:59, those travel restrictions go into place following President Trump's travel ban. Now, Americans flying home to the United States need to fly into an approved airport. Charlotte Douglas is not one of those. The closest one to us is in Atlanta. But I do want to walk you through how these restrictions work. Here's the 26 European countries that are impacted. This ban does not apply to the United Kingdom or Ireland, but we are hearing about Americans scrambling to come home. Some booking last-minute tickets costing up to $5,000. However, this ban does not apply to American citizens or their families. They will need to be screened before arriving, though. And once they land, anyone with symptoms will need to get medical attention or be quarantined for 2 weeks. A lot of passengers we talked to flying out of Charlotte Douglas say they're watching all of the developments very closely.
This summer to fly from California to Paris, get on a river cruise through Germany and end up in Prague. And so we're just waiting to see.
I wouldn't be doing any big vacations at the moment. If it wasn't important, if it wasn't for work or whatever, or a funeral or a wedding, then I probably wouldn't be traveling right now.
And a lot of people have questions about how long this travel ban will last. We know it's in place for 30 days, but of course it could be extended. John?
Now, overnight we did learn about some schedule changes for American Airlines when it comes to the international flights. Can you break those down?
Yeah, and this is really big news here, too, because American Airlines owns about 90% of the gates here at Charlotte Douglas. They tell us that they will resume flights to and from Europe for the next 7 days to ensure Americans can get home. But in addition to that, American says it's actually cutting its international flights by half, starting as early as next month. John?
So 7 more days of flights for Americans to get out of Europe. That'll be helpful with so many people scrambling to catch a flight. Anthony Castura live for us at the airport. Now, the other thing impacting so many of us, stock market. All 3 major U.S. stock market indices, they are now in bear territory, which means they lost 20% or more. They're down almost 10% after the closing bell yesterday. Look at that. Dow Jones Industrial Average, the S&P 500, they saw their worst day since Black Monday in 1987. This marks the end of what would have been an 11-year bull market. Right now, we're checking Wall Street futures. A little bit of good news. They're trying to make a comeback here. The Dow is up 589 in futures trading. NASDAQ is up about 238. And we've got a lot more coverage for you. We know a lot of you have questions about the coronavirus, and we're putting together a panel of experts. They're going to talk with you in a special report, Coronavirus Questions Answered. It is tonight. It's at 7 o'clock. We'll have it on Channel 9, TV 64, and WSOC TV Now, so make sure you have our app.